Hi everyone, good afternoon. Welcome to another Canvas Live session. Canvas Live sessions are presented by Canvas community members or Instructure employees to help Canvas users like you improve and enhance their teaching and learning with Canvas. Today's session is going to be about the state of the Canvas community. Our community team is made up of Scott Dennis, who's the Director of Community, my name is Birai. We have Erin Hallmark here today. She's also the Manager of Documentation, and Renee Carney, who's also a Community Manager with us. So we will be hearing from everybody, except Scott. He won't be joining us today, but we have plenty of information to share with you about where the state of our Canvas community is from when we started. So what is community? For most people, the community is a place where they can find answers and resources that they need to be successful with using Canvas. And one of the things we are most proud of and we stress is the ability to focus on making community a huge part of our mission. Since the company's most early days at Instructure, it has been, we've been committed to provide the best resources we can. And so community absolutely carries over into that company philosophy. Before we get into what we're going to see in the next year, we wanted to kind of take a look back at the year behind us and review what has happened and where we've come from. Last year, our membership went up from 45,000 to 128,000. So we have a very large and dynamic community, which is why a lot of people come to the community for a lot of resources and a lot of engagement, which is great. You can see our registrations have grown over time and peaked, of course, during those start of the year and start of the semester sessions. And they will continue to grow over time as well. Some of our most active spaces and groups, which shouldn't be surprising, the Canvas release notes. I'm sure Erin would love that. They are probably our highest traffic areas since every few weeks we have new updates coming into that space. So definitely one of our highest places. Canvas Live, Canvas Guides, Find Answers, getting started in the feature ideas space as well. So these are very dynamic and active areas in the community. And as far as our groups, instructional designers, Canvas admins tend to be our most attended, have the highest membership in there as well. Because a lot of the community is made up of people who are designing and developing Canvas courses, as well as those who are administering it. So those tend to have some pretty active conversations. In general, to get an idea of how active our community is, even though we have a lot of users per month, we have anywhere from 5K to 19K active users. Which means people come in at some way, shape, or form and either contribute new material into the community, be it by way of resource or a webinar or presentation. They participate by either commenting or liking something or providing an answer to a question, or they just consume the information. So you can see across the year where we peak the most as far as the activity levels in the community. We represent majority of higher ed than K-12 in our community. And about 50% of our market representation have been using Canvas for less than 2 years, which tells us that we have a fairly new to Canvas user. So a lot of their questions really help them adopt the product as they make their transitions and as they start to get more comfortable with the different tools. Additional highlights, and I know that Renee will talk more about this as we move on. We do have a very active feature idea process, and so last year we saw 194 feature ideas completed with updates in the release notes. So of all the ideas that were contributed by the community, 194 of them went into production. So that's awesome. Also last year, we launched the beginnings of ARC community. Right now, it sits in the Canvas community as a group, but it's an opportunity for Canvas users to talk about ARC and get information and updates on that product, our video streaming product. We also had a redesign of Canvas Live, obviously. We went from sort of the one-way broadcast approach of instructor-led webinars and presentations to about 1 to 2 a month, to a community-led or community-driven, where about 75% of all the presentations that you see in Canvas Live space are directed and or initiated by community members. And we were able to, at least last year, almost provide 125 different events in Canvas Live, where in the past it used to be about 20 to 25 per year. So that's good, and hopefully that'll continue to be a very active place for people to continue learning about Canvas. We also launched the Canvas chat rooms, which was our live chat portal in the Canvas community. And this is where users and Canvas community members could get together and chat in real time, whether it be a project that they're working on or just a quick troubleshoot of something. Usually there's a Canvas community member in there willing to help and support each other. Once again, very, very community-centric and active community. We also launched the Bridge community, which is now up to 650 people. Bridge, if you're not familiar, is our corporate LMS. So it's the counter to Canvas in the corporate environment. And it has its separate community as well. So things to look forward to in the coming year. So we're all going to talk a little bit about each of these more in depth, but things that you can expect. One will be a couple of updates in the JIVE. JIVE is our Canvas community platform that we use to manage and maintain our community. And so there are a couple of key features that have been enabled. Some of you who are already noticing that, and we'll talk a little bit about that. That will be implemented as soon as this session is over, so those will be available to you. We'll talk about an upcoming new gamification system and strategy and how we're going to change things up a little bit as the new year continues. Renee will talk about some of the new feature ideation processes that will get a new face and some upgrades there. So I'm excited to hear about that. And Erin will talk to us about some documentation improvements that will be ongoing throughout the year as well. We'll finish off with the group's redesign and a couple of other details as the community evolves this year. And the general focus of the community moving towards a more global-centric community. So we can make sure we're including not just our domestic clients, but those Canvas users all around the world. Just some updates on some team news internally. So documentation team that we have at the instructor and the community team have merged and are combining our resources and staff. So we'll be much more coordinated, and we were already coordinated before, but now we'll get to see each other a lot more through, and we'll get to interface with each other a lot more. So that's exciting. So we'll hopefully have some great integrations between the documentation that you see in our community and some of the other additional resources that are also in the community as well. Hopefully this year you might see some new team members and new community managers on our team. And we also added 2 new coaches to our coach team as well. And as you know, coaches are huge advocates in the community, and they are usually our concierge, if you will. They help you and redirect you and answer questions and really kind of help navigate users around the resources available in the community. So welcome Ryan Seelhammer and Kristen Lundstrom to that team. Okay, so I'm going to transition into some JIVE updates. So some of the new features that you will see. Some of them are pretty minor and some of them will be major. There is a slight shift in the content editor in our community. So when you used to add a content, whether you're applying to a comment or you're creating a new document, you can see some of the app mention and some of the attach options kind of down below. And in the updated version, it's more streamlined. Everything's kind of up top, and the content editor has a couple of more features. You may find you'll have to click on the More button to get some of the old additional tools that perhaps may have been more upfront, but everything's there. You should still be able to do everything that you were used to. It's just a little leaner and cleaner. We also enabled the keywords in content URLs. So before, when you hit any type of document or a discussion post or a reply, you would always see some sort of arbitrary number at the top. For example, doc-8735. Well, now, anytime you're creating a new content item in the community, or you're editing something that used to only have the number associated with it, it will take keywords from the title and add that as into the URL. So hopefully that'll allow you to have a little more context when you're sending a document or a link to other people in the different areas of your faculty, your staff, students, community. And probably the third, this is more of the major update. The third feature update is the profile evolution. So JIVE just went through an update to make profiles a little bit more user-friendly and hopes to really highlight a particular user's skills and contributions in the community. So before, as you see on the picture on the left, it doesn't really tell you a lot about a user based on what you're seeing. Maybe it tells you a little bit about their title or how long they've been in the community and some skills and connections. But in the left, you'll see that now you can add a banner at the top. Your community profile picture and avatar picture will be the same. So you don't have to change your avatar and your profile pic. Those will be one and the same. And you'll see the content that you produce and the resources you share will be front and center. So someone will be able to look at your community profile and really understand, what types of conversations you contribute into, and what your skill sets are, and how connected you are in the community. So connections is also another area of the community. Instead of it's just a cleaner interface where you know how many people you're following and how many followers you have. You're also able to gauge sort of your level in the community a lot better immediately from the profile as well. You can't see it in this slide, but your ability to post, a little bit about yourself or your bio and things like that, there's a little more room there in the text to allow for a longer description, so you're not cut off. So again, an opportunity to kind of showcase who you are a little bit more. This is just a slide that shows you how the back end of the settings are going to be different. It used to be that avatar and photos would be in one tab. Now your avatar pictures and your profile pictures are the same, so that'll just be in one tab. And then photos is it has nothing to do with your profile. It's just the types of photos you add to your profile, similar to other social media platforms. So you have an area for your own photos. As you can see here, on the left-hand side, if you scroll down in your profile, in your new profile, you'll be able to see your skills a little bit more front and center, and your photos there on the left-hand side, sort of as an album. And another thing that I really like about this new interface is that the follow button is also front and center. So if you really like a user and you want to just get updates from them, you can quickly follow them and be informed of the things that they're doing in the community. Another update that you're going to see this year is the gamification system. We did a survey last month, and about 250 users from all different levels, from those who were very active and engaged and those who were sort of minimally active and engaged. And basically the biggest takeaway we got from that was that people want to be able to cut through the noise in the community and find quality answers from reputable resources or reputable sources. So when we asked them about the gamification system, The interesting result was that, gamification isn't going to solve this problem, but what it will do is it'll help surface a lot more quality content and surface the reputations of those who actually contribute to that quality content. And so when we asked the community if you're willing to kind of go with us and sort of level set the community a bit, about almost 78% of the people who were surveyed were like, yeah, for sure, do what you need to do. Just make sure you continue to give credit where credit is due. So that's the goal this year. The new focus will be to help better onboard members to the community and acclimate them. So as we mentioned, we have a high rate of increase of new users coming into the community every day. And a lot of the users are very new to Canvas, so they're already coming in a little overwhelmed. So with this new gamification system, we'll have an opportunity to kind of do checklist of things so that they're immediately acclimated to the community a little bit more. We'll focus the reward system on quality feedback and resources versus the number of things you do and the quantity. And then we'll be able to align experts more prominently with their levels so that when you see a person in the community that's a level 6, you know that they have done a lot of quality material and they have done, it holds a level of expertise that matches that level. And of course, there'll be a lot more that we'll share as well. Just like everything else, there will be some strategic missions to reward ongoing behavior, but the focus of it will be those individual quests that will highlight the value that people bring to the community. In addition, this gamification system kind of turns some of the rewarding to the community itself. So members will be able to give some badges to each other and also reward others with points as well. So I'm now easily able to give a colleague or somebody who's helped me, a badge and say, thanks for helping. And here's, 10 points for helping me. I appreciate that. So hopefully that peer-to-peer should add another layer of value. Again, as I mentioned, quests, these are sort of that checklist type of a badge of doing something in the community or doing something that has Canvas, that is associated with some Canvas knowledge. And you'll be getting sort of these special quests that will be showcasing regularly throughout the community as well. What you need to know a little bit as far as how this transition will work, the beginning of February, we'll turn sort of the current gamification system off to have some room for a little bit of that transition. So there'll be a little bit of downtime there. Any points accrued after January 31st won't count towards sort of the new level setting. Mid-February, we'll transition, and at the end of February, or hopefully sooner, the new system will launch officially. And we'll actually be having a Canvas Live presentation on this that will go into more detail of what we've done, what kinds of quests and things that you can do, and how to sort of understand that process a little bit more. All right, without further ado, I'll hand it over to Renee so she can talk about what you can expect in the feature ideation process this year.
Thank you, B-Rai. So as B-Rai was talking about, and as you've seen, one of our common practices when we make a shift in our community is we go to you and we start asking questions. So our feature ideation process, or feature ideas as you know it by, went dormant almost 2 months ago now. And we've just been keeping all of your great ideas in a hold status while we prepare to go into this new process. When we started that process, we surveyed you, and as we knew already that you like to share ideas and you like to see those ideas implemented into Canvas, just like we do. It's really awesome to see. We wanted to know what you wanted to change. So we know that you want to know more about what product is working on so that you can help tailor your efforts to things that are actually going to be built a little bit quicker. You're also seeking better ways to search and track ideas. And we can relate to that even. Trying to find a certain idea and wade through the over 6,000 that we have right now is somewhat difficult. So we're hoping to streamline that for you. And then also just the voting process in general. You asked for us to make that easier. So here's a little sneak peek of what we've done in those 3 areas. Go ahead, B-Ray. So first, what is Canvas product focused on? We are going to change up the look of the feature idea space a little bit and focus on some themes. So product has said, okay, we'll share these themes with you, and we'll share what stage we are in the development process of these themes. And we'll have specific activities that we're going to seek community input on. So here's a little sneak peek of what a theme might look like. And this one will be in our first beta of this new process, and that's Analytics 2 for teachers and students. And we're gonna kick it off in the Explore stage, so you can see a few things there that you might be able to participate in soon. So also, we focus on themes, but there's great ideas that don't align with themes, and we still want to be able to collect those, but collecting those can sometimes be difficult when we have lots of duplicates and resubmissions of the same idea. So we want to focus on searching and tracking in a way. You can see that at the top of our new design, we have the global search of the space. So you'll be able to type your idea in there and search, as well as the themes. So you'll be able to look within the themes to see if your idea aligns with those. There will be a search by stage. So you can look at what ideas exist within a certain stage. Are there things that we've already said are in development or on beta? And then there will be a search by interest group or role. So hoping to narrow it down for you so that you can click in. If you're K-12 and you're only interested in K-12 ideas, you can click into K-12 and look through what's available. So you'll still be able to submit any new ideas or random ideas that you have that don't fit within the themes, but themes will definitely be the focus of our product team at this time. So the process itself, some of the things that you highlighted in voting were you want things to be voted on immediately as soon as they're submitted, and we're going to make that change. So rather than moderation pushing everything through a process, a cohort process, ideas will open for vote immediately. And if there are any problems with the ideas moderation-wise, they'll just be pulled out into a holding tank until things are corrected and then move back into through the voting process. You said that the lifespan was too short, 3 months. And it's a little bit difficult to look at lifespan when you look at how quickly Canvas evolves. So we're going for a compromise with 6 months here. Ideas will have a lifespan of 6 months from the month that they are opened. So month they open, they'll have 6 months. And if they do not hit a vote threshold, which I'll talk about in a minute, then they will be archived. So the vote threshold will no longer be an arbitrary number. The 100 votes, as many of you figured out, that is not even 0.1% of our actual community population. So we're going to get rid of that 100 vote threshold, and we're going to look at percentile. So a group of ideas come in a month. At that 6 month lifespan, we're going to look at the top percentile of vote gatherers, and those are the ones that will remain. So those ones will not receive a guaranteed comment or update from product. It's likely they'll get one, but product is going to opt to look at more than just votes when they select the ideas that they respond to. If you followed some of our threads and conversations, we talk about some of the other data that we have on the back end of feature ideas. And it's more than votes. We can look at demographics, we can look at likes, we can look at traffic, how many people have been in and looked at an idea. So there's more that we might consider than just votes when product is responding. Where our product team has agreed to focus is in that themes area. So this is great because a lot of what they spend time doing in the general open ideas is saying, oh man, I wish we could build this right now, but we just don't have the resources allocated. And it might take another cycle before they could reevaluate allocation. And so here they're saying, we're going to tell you ahead of time what our big projects are. And so we're not talking about squeezable things here. We're talking about big topics. And we're going to ask you to help participate in the development process of those big topics. And that's where they're going to focus their time. So that's kind of a quick peek at and very high level of what we're looking at. We're going to dive in deep with you through a focus group. The focus group is not open yet, but watch for a banner soon. And when that banner launches, you'll be able to join this group and participate in giving us feedback on this new design. So thank you. And next, I think we're going to talk about release notes. So Erin, it's all yours.
Okay, thanks, Renee. So first of all, we're really happy to have the Canvas guides as part of the Canvas community. And we're excited to be able to work more with the community team more closely. So we feel that this improved coordination is going to be great for everybody and really helps improve the campus experience. So we're really excited about that. A lot of what the documentation team does is really behind the scenes. And this year we're focusing on some projects that we hope will continue to improve Canvas for our customers. The biggest project for us is focusing on the larger scope of the Canvas guides. I think it's safe to say that there is a lot of content in this space, and we try to keep it as comprehensible and organized as we possibly can. So in September of last year, our team put out a survey to try to get a better idea as to how the guides are used in the different customers and how they're used. We weren't really sure on the feedback that we were getting there. So many of you responded with your ideas and your comments, and we appreciated all of that feedback very much. A lot of it related to the high-level complexities of the guides, such as Canvas terminology. You noticed that sometimes it's hard to find what you were looking for based on what terms you were using and whatnot. We also noticed a running theme of how to locate content in the guides, just in general, not being able to figure out what you are trying to find and how to find it. And then we also had a lot of comments relating to why aren't we talking more about the why of a feature and not just how it's used, which we try to do more in our overview lessons. But we have quite a few lessons now that talk more about just the how, but not so much the why. So based on all this feedback, the guides and the guides page may change slightly in the organization of everything this year. We're working hard to make those changes minimal and focusing on the enhancement components. But of course, any updates that affect you will definitely give you a heads up and let you know ahead of time. But again, we are trying to make them minimal so they aren't so much of a shock. But that is our biggest goal and objective for the year. Another point that we have that we're working on this year is being more involved with the Find Answers space. So some of your comments from our survey recognize that it's very hard for us to explain every facet of Canvas in our documentation lessons. And this fact is especially true for our more advanced Canvas users who may be looking for more information than may be available in the guides. So since the Canvas guides are part of the Find Answers space, and now that the community and documentation teams are better connected, we can compile our resources and work together to find more of the pain points and the holes in the documentation that may exist and see how we can possibly address them better in the guides based on what you guys are in the Find Answer space. Third item that we have this year relates to a goal we have as a community team to expand localization options in the community. So the guides are currently translated into several languages, but they aren't actually housed in the community yet. So this year we're looking to expand localization options in the community. And our first focus will be our Spanish markets. And based on that, we'll evaluate what is needed and how the community can best be an asset to that group. And then we'll assess as needed. So watch for more information with localization in the community coming soon. And then lastly is release notes. In our survey from last year, we also learned a lot more about who is reading our release notes and how they're being used. And based on the variety of feedback and other factors we've noticed recently, we have a goal this year that we want to revisit the way we structure our Canvas release notes and how to make them better for you. So we're obviously working with the community team to better incorporate their new feature idea process and help with the overall education and how we release features into Canvas and how release notes are playing part in that role. So the last thing, we definitely want to get input in the release notes as we go along. So if you are interested in being part of the release notes discussion, we would love for you to participate, and you can just follow the Canvas release notes space if you're not already, and we will notify you when we have more information. So that's it. Turn that time over to B right now, talk more about groups.
Thanks, Erin. So another area of the community that we're going to take a deeper look at is the groups. So we have about 30 to 35 different community groups in the Canvas community. These do not include focus groups and other private or client groups, or if you have a school group. So we're talking sort of the bigger community, open to everyone groups that we have. Some of the challenges that we've seen based on the feedback we've been getting and the behaviors that we've noticed in the community, there are some groups that are very active and some that are not. So we're going to dive into why that's the case and what types of activities are driving these different types of groups. There is definitely a little bit of a favor to sharing content into a group than creating original content within a group, and perhaps a little misdirection on where to ask a question. So we have the find answer space where you can ask a question, and then you also have, for example, the instructional design group where you can also ask a question. So we're going to look a little bit more into what is the purpose of our groups in the greater context of the community when we have all these different areas that sort of have a distinct goal. And another sort of challenge is many people come to the community, of course, to find their answers or solutions, but there's also some opportunity here to network and get to know different people, especially as the community plays a significant role in some of our offline user conferences, whether it be CanvasCon or InstructureCon. You meet a lot of people in face-to-face environments and want to kind of connect back with them online, and vice versa. You know, somebody answers your question or helps you in a sort of a tough spot when you're developing your course, and they answer your question, and then you meet them face-to-face at an on-site, and that connection is important, and we want to be able to capture that connection, and we want to be able to have a place for you to elaborate your network. So these are the things we'll look at probably around the summertime, and look and see what the redesign of this space would look like. So potentially we'd like to make groups to have a little bit more of that communities of practice, and some of the priorities might look like having groups be more project oriented, be more collaborative, and maybe increase those networking opportunities, and sort of hone in on relevant, timely conversations that are more sort of niched and appropriate to that specific group or goal of that group. So again, just like Erin was saying in terms of focus group for the release notes and documentation space, feel free to go to the join groups space in the community and follow. We will be looking to get feedback from users as well. And so we'll probably put some notifications throughout the community, but mainly in the group space as it goes through some redesign. One of the first groups that we're going to actually look at, one of the more engaging and active groups in our community, is the Canvas mobile user group. It's a very active group, even though it may not be the largest group. It's definitely has a lot of engaged users there, and there's a lot of projects going on and conversations that are in there. And so thanks to the help of Ryan and Kristen, who are the admins of that group, they will serve as a pilot to help us in the redesign of the group and see how some of the things that we try in that group and how they will scale to the rest of the community. So that was the group redesign. Moving forward, last year we did sort of a test of what we called Canvas Trivia. It was resoundingly successful and a lot of people really enjoyed it. And so we will be continuing that this year. So keep an eye out in the Canvas Live space where you will see some updates on Canvas Trivia events. So it will be on Thursdays instead of Fridays, so that we have, again, a more global perspective. So we want to make sure that we're not having our UK and Australia folks, doing Canvas Trivia on Saturday morning. So we'll be doing them Thursday to Friday in a 24-hour span, and they will be starting next month. So keep an eye out, and so that you can get some Canvas Trivia for those of you who are going through withdrawals. And also, community is getting some surprise swag. We have received a lot of feedback on, how participation can lead to some sort of excitement, and how we can say, I'm part of the community, and sort of showcase that somehow. And we love that. We love that enthusiasm, and we want to make sure that we, give back to you just as you're giving to us. So we are probably getting t-shirts this year, so keep an eye out for that. And as well as other fun little surprises, but we can't tell you what they are, obviously, because if we did, then it wouldn't be a surprise. But here's a hint of how we're going to approach this. Just like we approach everything else, it's community driven. So how we design our swag and everything that we do will be based on what you guys provide. So whether we see a funny statement in the community, a cartoon depicting a community, some memes, things like that. And in fact, we have discussion posts that we posted in the Meta space called "What Does Community Mean to You?" And there you can find the directions on how to contribute an image, or how to contribute an idea or a thought or a statement or a quote or whatever. And hopefully you will see those sprinkled across the community throughout the year in various shapes and forms. I think that that brings us to the end of our session. We just want to continue to, thank you for being involved in the community. We appreciate everything you do, that you have an interest in making the community better. And even though these updates weren't Canvas specific, they are community specific, we appreciate your listening and being here to make sure that we are designing a space and building resources that actually help you use Canvas better. So that's always our ultimate goal. And just as a closure, always follow the live canvaslms.com, the Canvas Live space, for future community-related events as well as other related events. We have a Canvas Live user group that allows people to collaborate on different presentations and sessions. So if you want to do a session on, I don't know, a part of Canvas that you want to share and you need a co-presenter, these are the types of things that we're doing in that group. And of course, hang out in our Canvas chat rooms to keep connected and help other people out as well. So that brings us to the end of the conversation. Let's see, there are some questions in the community. I will open it up to Renee and Aaron. I haven't been looking at the chat. So is there anything that you want to address? We'll start with you, Renee.
I don't think anything specific at this time. There was a question, well, maybe there was one from Chris at Aspire EDU, and 194 ideas turned into completed. That was out of about 6,000, Chris. Michelle, some of your questions, I think we'll be able to address that through the focus group. So I'd encourage you to join that when we launch it. And that's probably all I have.
Perfect. Thank you. Thank you for that clarification. We'll go ahead and post the recording in the community. Of course, you can reach all of us through the community. I'm pretty sure we're very easily findable, I guess. So please feel free to reach out to any of us on the community team and the documentation team as well. And we can continue conversations, or if you have any other questions, we'll continue them in the community. Thank you so much for joining. We appreciate your being here. Thank you, Erin, and thank you, Renee, for being here as well and sharing the cool projects that you're also working on as well. So have a great day, everybody.